Haru Nefer, Hatepu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste. This is Kasankma Keparu coming to you with another broadcast here. And today I want to talk to you about the power of synchronicity. And synchronicity is a very powerful tool if used right. However, I find that a lot of individuals in mainstream occult circles or New Age circles only use it to kind of like observe and quantify strange events, rather than seeing it as a power that they can readily tap into and utilize for magic. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about with you what synchronicity is, how to identify it, and how to use it for magical purposes so it can enhance your life and make it a lot better. So for those of you who are joining me, please hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos and to see more of my cute face, and share this video with friends and family members. Hit the bell if you want to be notified when I go live so you can catch the broadcast. So we have a very, we're living in very interesting times. A lot of things are going on right now. And, with the whole Bill Cosby thing, Me Too movement, what else? We have Trump, I guess, trying to start a war. And I've always said this. I said, if you think that any president coming into office is going to be an outsider, a maverick, or whatever, it's not the case. They're just going to continue the plan of the previous president, because all of them operate from the same agenda, which is global domination, to basically conquer the planet and put in place a new world order. We know that's the plan. We know it's already been enacted. They're just kind of like looking at going through their next phase. I had a friend of mine, Sean, he told a very funny joke. He says, when you become president, they take you into the back room and show you the real footage of the assassination of JFK. And of course, in that footage, you will see that it was the government that killed him. And then they look at you and they say, well, if you don't play ball, this is what's going to happen to you. So that's kind of what happens. But the idea is that the president is just a figurehead. Whether he's a Democrat, Republican, independent, doesn't matter, because when you get into that office, you are there to enact the agenda of the ruling elite. You are controlled. You cannot just simply, I would love a president that goes up there and sits there and says, oh, I've gone into the records and there are UFOs and we have been visited and Mars is colonized. Yeah, well, no president's going to do that. They know what's going to happen. It's like they would be taken out so quickly. So, And Hatepu Patrick, yes, thank you. He says, I've heard that before myself. Kennedy was the only one who opposed the system. So you just got to be really, really mindful of the fact that when you have these politicians come along and promising you the world, that it's just all smoke and mirrors and it's just full of lies, because they don't have the power to really, turn things around and make this a better country, even though they may proclaim that they're going to do this. If you look at it, you got Obama run on change, and then Trump went on to make America great. And they give you these like sound bites or these really cute sayings that are like these digestible little terms and sayings that sound good, but when they get into office, the exact opposite happens. It's like, oh, we've got to go to another war. Oh, I've got to bomb these children in Syria. Oh, I've got to invade this country. It's the same thing, You're just being fooled by catchy logos, or not catchy logos, but catchy little tunes, or whatever you want to call these things. It's almost as if like an advertising agency created this. It's like, make America great, changed, time for change, But as magicians, as magi, we know that the only change that really can happen is the change that we put into effect through our magic, through who we are as God man and God woman. And that if you rely on others to be your salvation and to enact change on your behalf, then you are fooled, and then you really die you really die a death there. You're gone, because you might as well just give it up. It is like it's like God giving you the power that everything you touch turns to gold, and then you complain you're poor. You're poor. Well, damn it, touch something. You won't be poor. No, but I'm poor. I'm poor. Damn it, touch something and watch it turn to gold. But that is who we are, and that's how we're living, because we're running around thinking that so-and-so can save us. We're going to rely on Gandhi. We're going to rely on Buddha, whatever savior is out there, Trump, Obama, but the only thing that we refuse to look at, as Michael Jackson said, is the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror. Stop taking your power and giving it away, and that's essentially what you're doing. Who is this that said this comment in my chat box? Let us see. Class Keys. Harun Nefer. How come our magic can't stop white people? Tepu Aset. How are you? So I'm glad to see my magicians are joining us. Okay. So anyway, what I was saying, and Class Keys, I will answer your question. All right. But let me just finish my train of thought before I lose it. No, I just lost it. Now, what was I saying? Gosh darn it. I was saying how handsome I am. No, just kidding. So we cannot continue to give our power away. And when we do that, then we only empower others to do what they want with us. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So, all right. Let me get into this whole idea of an oppressed group and why an oppressed group cannot get out of the situation that they're in. All right. And I tend to say things to people, and I've said this before in terms of using magic and whatnot. And as soon as I say it, someone will ask me, well, how do you use magic? How do you do it? And I'm like, okay, I just said it. I just said it. Why did you not get what I just said? So Class Keys, when I say something to the effect of you are giving your power away, and I gave the analogy of you being able to touch anything and turn it to gold, but yet proclaiming you're poor, that essentially answers your question. And I just want you to meditate upon that, because you're asking a question directly after I answered it. And the I-Ching talks about giving your magic tortoise away, meaning that you have the power to affect change, but you give the power away when you show up in a damn Christian church every Sunday, or you're praying to some other god or deity that is not within your own culture and who you are as God man, God woman. All right. So you're asking a question. When people ask questions and they say, well, why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? Well, look at what you're subscribing to. Look at the very ideas and belief systems that you subscribe to. They are directly opposed to your freedom and your liberation. When you go to vote, what do you think you're doing? You're giving away your power. When you go to protest, what do you think you're doing? You're giving away your power. And then you complain about the way the world is, and the world is messed up. Yes, the world is messed up, but until you come into a realization of who you are and start from that point on, you're never going to be free. You're never going to be free. Okay, so this is why I'm talking about this stuff, and continually we're in this loop where we keep asking the same question. And okay, let me give you this analogy. There was a woman who got fed up with the Cosby case because she felt like, and she's on social media. Her video, her video is gone viral, and what she's doing is you hear her cursing, talking about how upset that she is that every time they're locking up Black men and incarcerating them, but white men are committing all these crimes and getting away with it. And she goes, the motherfucker, this, that, God, shit, God damn it, shit, fuck this, that, do that. And really animated, okay, and very emotional, right? So I said in the chat, and I said, there is no point in this. There is no reason for her to be doing this. Okay? I said that when she expends all of that emotion, right? What is going to change? Not a damn thing. So everyone who, of course, people are sahu in nature. They're operating on the animal spirit. Well, she's got to let her frustration out. Don't you understand? They're locking us up and we're in trouble. Yeah, I understand. But when you go from 0 to 10, 10 is meaning being very, very emotional, Geb level, what's going to happen? You're going to expend that energy and come back to 0 where you started. So what you have done accomplishes nothing. Accomplishes nothing. All right. And I won't get into the fact that you're a woman who should not be cursing, and you should act more demure and act more with class and respect than to come out and give off the idea of being the stereotypical angry Black woman. I'm like, why would you go there? Who is going to do it? You have to understand. Let me put it to you this way. Everyone listen to me very carefully. You're dealing with people who are evil, corrupt, and they're not going to change. You can go out, you can yell, you can protest. They're just sitting back and they're going, okay, all right, flip the switch and let's move to phase 3. They're not stopping. They're not. They're going to go to phase 3, phase 4. They're going to do the chemtrails. You know what I'm saying? They're going to take the weapons out of your hands. They're going to enact more policies, and you're going, oh, me too. You're going, oh, we want Trump. He's going to change things. And it doesn't matter. You can yell and do all you want. They're just sitting back going, what time is our ritual to Satan tonight? I can't wait. We having sandwiches? Oh, that's going to be great. Praise Satan. Praise Satan. They are evil. They're not going to stop. They are very intelligent and sophisticated. Do you not understand this? They have their moves planned 20 moves in advance. You're playing the chess game, right? And sometimes people only can think 1 move ahead or 2 moves ahead. They're so intelligent, they can look and see 20 moves ahead. And you can't even see 2 or 3 moves because you're yelling, fuck, bitch, that. Oh, these fucking people, bat. Okay. I've already told you that strategically they have mastered the left brain. So they have come up with every countermeasure to what you're doing. Not only that, they are masters of synchronicity. They understand these occult powers. So you're yelling and you're going nuts. As this woman was on social media and is going viral, accomplishes nothing. They don't have empathy. They don't feel like you and I. That's been bred out of them. It's been genetically taken out of them. When you become president, the president is genetically engineered not to feel empathy. You don't. Obama, Trump, they don't feel anything. This is how they can bomb Syria, stealth bomb, and blow up buildings with children and babies in it. Do you think that any one of us could get into that position and they sit there and tell us, I want you to press this button that's going to kill 100,000 babies? Do you think I would do that? I'd be like, no. Well, we have to do that because we have to spread democracy. We have to make America great. I'll be like, no. They're like, wait a minute. You feel something for these people. You're not one of us. Do you understand this? So this has been bred out of them. They have no feeling. If you go online and Google like the speeches by Obama, when he was crying, it's fake tears. They even showed you how he had to pretend to have tears. They don't feel like you and I do. And there's no way to appeal to them and say, morally the right thing to do is to take all those billions and billions of dollars we spend on military weapons and feed the hungry and feed the people in this country and in Africa, and to stop invading countries and stop bombing them, and let's put our money into R&D, research and development, on projects that can grow new food without GMOs. And no, they're not going to do the moral thing. And people think it's money that's influencing people. It's all about money. It's not money. It's not money. It's not just money. Money's part of the equation, but you're dealing at the core with satanic, corrupt people. That's what you're dealing with. So stop the talking like you can convince them the right thing to do. Stop the persuasion. It's not going to happen. You know what you got to do? You've got to be at peace. And you first got to say this, listen, which ties into what we're going to talk about today. I have made a pre-life agreement to be in this reality. And this reality sucks to the highest degree. It sucks. But I made that agreement with Tahuti for a reason. What is the reason? For me to realize my divinity as God man, God woman. Okay? Because without opposition, there is no growth. So I need a Trump. I need an Obama. I need these vicious, evil people to push against me so that I can flex my spiritual muscle and come to a realization of myself. It is like, without death, what is the purpose of life? Death defines you. Death gives your life meaning, because you know you have a finite amount of time on this planet. And therefore, you have to find meaning in the finite amount of time you have. For if it were not for death, you could not really live, because you know the impending doom that's coming, that you're going to be placed in the grave. And hundreds and thousands of years from now, no one's going to remember you. No one's going to know anything about you. So you have to make your mark now. And what I am saying to you is, if you're a white man that feels oppressed, if you're a white woman that feels oppressed, if you're Asian, a Latino that feels oppressed, then, hey, I feel you. I feel you. I'm not beyond feeling oppressed or being stopped by the police. But I understand something that's so fundamental to what's going on in the world, that none of this is real. It's all Maya. It's all an illusion. It's all put there by synchronistic events. It's just synchronicity. And why is it all lining up? Because of your thoughts and your beliefs. Now, part of it, a large majority of it, is beyond your control, because it is part of the MCA, the Mass Collective Agreement, that we as a soul group made with Tahuti or Jehuti to come to this fourth dimensional plane and experience. So in other words, the stage has to be set. And in that stage, then the players come in, and then you have the set, okay? But you have control within those parameters. All right. And why not exercise that control? And instead of saying, why can't we stop them people? Why can't we stop? You can. You certainly can stop them. But not through physical means, because they have more money, they have more military power, they have more technology, and they have more occult power than you. But there is something that you know that I'm sharing with you right now that is so damn important. I'm sharing this secret with you. In The Tale of Two Cities, when what was the famous line? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And what is the Chinese saying? Or is that the Klingon saying? May you live in interesting times. I'm telling you that the experience, the energetic experience that you have, is subject to change, because it's not real. It's not real. It's all a quantum illusion. Now, does that mean you won't feel pain? That you won't feel pleasure? No, you're going to feel those things, and it's going to sting. If you break up with a loved one, that crap's going to hurt emotionally. if the police come and mistake you for the bank robber and hit you over the head, that stuff is going to hurt. Okay? But understand that there is part of that aspect that you can control, And prior to getting yourself in a mess, you need to be practicing your magic and working your magic so you don't get yourself into that mess. Okay? And that's the way you do it. Why do we be spiritual? Why be spiritual? Why? Christians mean well, but they're led by stupid people. They're led by stupid ministers. Well, they're actually not stupid. They're very scheming because they're trying to get money and they know the truth about everything. But anyway, the deal is this. You don't be spiritual because you want to worship God. That's an outside concept, an outside entity, and you're still giving your power away when you buy into that. You're spiritual because you say to yourself, I want control. I want control over my life, and I'm tired of getting my ass kicked. How do I do this? Well, I can take a Tony Robbins seminar. Hey, Tony Robbins. Yeah, he has the answer. Motivational speaker, big, tall guy, 7 feet tall, and millions of dollars he makes, confusing and deceiving people. Faith. Props to you, Faith. Exactly right. Faith says there's nothing constant but change. Absolutely 100% right. That's why you have the Book of Changes. The I-Ching is called the Book of Changes. The only thing that's certain in life is change. Bishar, who is the spiritual entity that Daryl Anka channels, one of the first things that when he channeled Bishar says the only thing that is constant in the universe is change. That is the one fundamental law. So thank you for adding that to the group, Faith. All right. All set. Yes, they want power over our spirits. Exactly right, because they are vampires. So they want your spirits. And we can go into that another time, but that's not the subject here. But thank you for bringing that up, Aset. So anyway, what I was saying was, so that began my journey because I was getting my ass kicked. And I did not realize that I had made the agreement with Tahuti that I must live Ma'at. And I found that out kind of late in life. And I was like, well, why didn't somebody tell me this? And they were like, didn't you know you're the son of Ma'at and you are expected to live a high moral life of truth? I was like, no one told me this. I said, why am I learning it now? And they were like, well, good thing you in the priesthood. Now you know. I'm like, oh man, I got my ass kicked for all those years, man. And I had some tragedy happen to me. I mean, some serious tragedy, but there was something in me that knew to search for the truth. Let me tell you something. I worked for corporate America, right? I was in a brokerage firm, right? And they were just upsetting my person. My person was pissed off. So one day I sat there, and I don't know why, I pulled out this picture of Ma'at. I knew nothing about Ma'at that much. I knew nothing about the Kemetic culture. I put it up at my desk, and I said, I want to see this every day. Boss told me to take it down. I said, all right, I'm going to take it down. I'm out of here. Goodbye. So consequently, I left, got into priesthood. And to get into the priesthood, you had to go before a diviner. And in my case, the diviner would sanction me getting into the priesthood. Because I had said to the high priest, I said, I have been here studying for about 2 years. And he says, you've been here for 2 years? I said, yeah, I've been studying for 2 years. And I'm not in priesthood. I'd like to get into priesthood, please. He goes, oh, you're only supposed to study for 6 months and then you take the test to get into priesthood. I'm like, oh, no one told me about the test. So I've been here 2 years, over 6 months. I've been here 2 years. And yeah, I'd like to get into priesthood. He said, well, you're going to have to see the priestess and she's going to have to do a oracle reading to see if you are allowed to come in. And I said, okay. So I sat there, she did the reading. I had no idea what the reading meant. She didn't tell me. All she said was, okay, you can come into the priesthood. I was like, oh, cool. Okay, let's do this. And I had a lot of fun, But the thing is, it's like, You do this because you want a certain degree of control in your life, and you don't want to get messed up by these crazy psychopaths who are in our office in government. Okay, you just can't. If you don't, you have to. It's going to mess with your sanity. You're going to have to eventually latch on to something that's going to bring you a degree of stability in your life and peace in your life. And if you find that Christianity does that, more power to you. If you find that Buddhism does that, more power to you. If you find that Islam does that, more power to you. But what I'm saying to you is those religions, from my perspective, take your power away by giving you an outside entity to believe in, to make you think that that outside entity will someday, somehow, some way come, manifest, and then strike down all evil people. And that is, I know from my experience as a Kemetic priest, that's not how it works. That you are God. God is you within you, and that you manifest your power as God man, God woman. And the way you do that is multifaceted. One way is through synchronistic events. Now, what do I mean by that? So synchronicity was coined by Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist. And what he noticed, if you read his book on the subject, was that things seem to coincidentally align that we may think are ironic. In other words, you may be thinking about someone, and that person, you've been thinking about somebody that you knew many years ago, and magically that person then suddenly appears. For example, you may think about a spider right now, and if you look to your windowsill, there's a spider crawling up there, and you're like, wow, how ironic. How did that happen? Or you may be thinking about, I don't know, lemonade, and then someone walks up to you and says hi, and they're drinking a bottle of lemonade. These are what we would say are kind of like synchronistic events. So, and most of the people who've written extensively on this talk about cataloging them and writing them down and trying to understand the meaning behind synchronistic events. Like a lot of people will see 11:11 or 22:22, and they will say, what does that mean exactly? I'm not going to go into that, but what I'm saying to you is that the most important thing that you can do is not so much the interpretation of a synchronistic event, which you can get into by learning how to read omens. Our ancestors were masters at that. But I find that the most important thing is to use the power of synchronicity to manifest things. So we as magi understand the most fundamental principle, which quantum mechanics tells us is that everything is fluctuating, okay? And that there exists infinite possibilities, all right? And that these things exist as information or waves, okay? And when you have a belief, you're pulling from this pool of information and waves one particular reality that's in alignment with your belief. And that reality will then manifest. And when you experience it or witness it or see it, then you are witness to the synchronistic event, not realizing that it's just you manifesting that event. Now, I want you to think of a movie. And you know how a movie has scenes within that movie. One scene may be the main character's house, the protagonist. Another scene may be the protagonist at a grocery store. And another scene may be the protagonist going to a gym. Now, those individual scenes are synchronistic events in your life. And they happen spontaneously and automatically because you are manifesting them. You cannot stop manifesting them. They are automatically manifesting based on the belief systems that you harbor. So, for example, if I think about Jesus a lot, well, I'm going to be walking down the street and suddenly I'm going to start seeing images and photos of Jesus. Maybe you're going to see a hobo on the street and he got a picture of Jesus asking for a donation. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is our power within us, helping to manifest the event as a synchronistic event. Now, we have come into a reality, this fourth dimensional experience, that's one of many, 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 many infinite realities, okay? And each of these many, many infinite realities are like pieces in a puzzle. So these little pieces, or let's call it scenes within this reality, are interchangeable. They can change according to our wishes and our desires. So let us say, for example, that I watched a program, and this is actually based on a true story. And instead of Trump speaking and just speaking to the news reporters, a synchronistic event happened where Trump was speaking to the news reporters and sucking on a lollipop. Okay, and this is because the individual was thinking about lollipops at the time he was watching Trump speak. Now, none of you experienced that because the reality is different for everybody. It's a subjective experience reality. Okay. So when you say that you don't like something in your reality, you have the opportunity to change it based on your belief system. And the belief system has to be emotionally empowered, meaning that it has to have a strong emotion behind it. Okay. And therefore you will change. There was an excellent program on TV which gave this secret away. It was, what's the name of the show? It was called, I think it was, Tales from the Dark Side. I'll have to Google it, right? And in the movie, there was a woman who was a painter. I'm sorry, in the TV episode, there was a woman who was a painter, and she started to discover this whole thing about quantum mechanics and synchronicity, and she found that she couldn't control it, and she was manifesting all of these things. Well, this episode suddenly was pulled off the internet. I don't know why. And me and a friend, we were doing a lot of research into synchronistic events, and I wanted to show him this episode, and I had a hard time finding it. And I said, somebody's trying to cover it up. You know, it was very interesting to that. So if you guys can find that episode, it really explains how to use your power and what really happens. And the thing is, most of us don't know how to use our power, so we manifest the things that we actually don't want in life. You know, we have children who can manifest abusive parents. We have adults who can manifest abusive relationships. We have other people who can contribute to manifesting to wars that happen in third world countries. So all of these things we're contributing to manifesting, or we're manifesting ourselves if we have enough power. There are individuals who are very powerful and who can manifest not just scene, but entire segments or entire movies in a way. So the better you are more in tune to the right brain, the more you can manifest. The left brain is analytical and critical. So the more you're polarized in left brain thinking, the harder it is for you to manifest. But you still manifest. You automatically do it. You can't stop manifesting. All right. It's an automatic thing that you do naturally. All right. The one thing is, if you ask me to teach you a technique of synchronicity, of manifesting a synchronistic event, I'm like, there is really nothing to teach. I can refine the process for you, but you're already doing it. You just got to learn to only think about those things and emotionally empower those things that you want and not the things that you don't want. And most times, because we fear a lot of things in our life, fear of getting broke, fear of losing our mate, fear of getting hurt, or our children getting hurt, then we inadvertently manifest those things. And it creates the fourth dimensional reality that we're interacting with. Now, here's the kicker, right? So I'm going to take this to you on a very, very high level and give you guys some seriously deep secrets on what's going on in the world today, all right? We all share in this reality, which is just one reality of many. This reality is composed of different scenes, as I said before, okay? And there are some really weird things that happen in this reality. I'm going to give you a case in point. Even myself, I have noticed things like my Western name appears in subjects that I like to study. For example, my Western name is Ron. So when I went to school, I wanted to study astronomy. I had a real passion for astronomy, and Ron was in that. When I was studying, I wanted to get into synchronicity. What's in synchronicity? Ron. And I was like, well, why all this stuff that I want? And it goes beyond that. It goes more than that. I said, why have all these things I want to study have my name embedded in them? That's the synchronicity calling out to you that this is what you should be doing. It's saying, yes, you're on the right track. This is what you need to be doing. And those subject matters I've always had a passion for. And I found out that those subject matters I pursued in my past life. And I'm just continuing with those subject matters. Okay. So I want you guys to check this out. And this is the reality that we're living in right now. Here's a big synchronistic event that has happened. And you need to understand there's no way to explain this as a coincidence. So there are 10 synchronistic events that happened between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy. I'm just going to read a few. Number one, both presidents were elected to the House of Representatives in 46. Abraham Lincoln was elected in Congress in 1846. John F. Kennedy was elected in Congress in 1946. Number two, Lincoln and Kennedy's name each contained 7 letters in their name. 7 letters. All right. Both presidents were elected to the presidency in 60 and inaugurated in 61. Lincoln won the election in 1860, and his inauguration was held on March 4th, 1861. Kennedy won the election in 1960, and his inauguration was held on January 20th, 1961. All right. Both defeated an incumbent vice president for the presidency. Lincoln defeated Vice President John C. Breckinridge, and Kennedy defeated Vice President Richard Nixon. Number 5, both their vice presidents and successors were Southern Democrats named Johnson. Whoa. Both Johnsons were born in 08. Andrew Johnson, born in December 29, 1808. Lyndon Johnson, born on August 27, 1908. LBJ as a baby pictured below. Okay, I'm just reading that. Both men were shot in the back of the head and in the presence of their wives. Interesting there. Both presidents were shot on a Friday. The Ford connection. Lincoln was shot in Forbes Theater. Kennedy was shot in a Lincoln made by Ford. Both John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald were killed and never faced trials. All right. So what is going on with that? That is beyond a coincidence. Okay. So this tells you that we are living in a manufactured reality. It's not real. All of these things are aligned to give us one out of an infinite number of realities that we exist in. Now, if you quantum shift or quantum leap to a new reality, this may change. Okay? These synchronistic events may not exist in your new reality if you make that quantum leap. Okay? But for now, you have to understand that this is an indication to you that there's something odd about this reality that's not right. So when you're talking about the oppressed, the disenfranchised, those who don't have a voice in this world, well, we have an opportunity to change that, not through a force of arms, not through political change, not through coming up with cute terms like Me Too or Make America Great, by enacting your power within. And as I gave the example of the woman who was like, fuck Pete, blah, 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 all these curse words because she was upset about what happened to Bill Cosby. I'm like, okay, you know what? Just go ahead and expend all that emotion. And when you're done, maybe we can talk about how you use power, because you know what? This yelling and stuff is going to get you nowhere. In fact, when you're showing a lot of emotions in that way, you don't have access to spiritual power, because Ma'at is the truth. Ma'at is the key. And you have to live righteously in order to get to Sekert or Patah, spiritual power. So you're never going to get there operating on a Sahu, the animal level, which is why Haru was able to defeat Set only by going to Tahuti for counseling. And Tahuti said, listen, stop acting, you know, you're expressing your animal nature. When Luke Skywalker went into the tree, which was strong with the dark side of Force, Yoda said, Luke Skywalker said, what's in that tree? And Yoda said, only what you carry with you. So if you carry the light, then that's all that's going to be in that tree. But if you carry the darkness, what's going to happen? You're going to manifest that darkness. And the reason why you have Hitler, you have racism, you have the sexism that's going on, it's because we, on some energetic level, are assisting with manifesting that based on our thoughts and beliefs and actions. So let us discontinue and cut that power off. And here's the way you need to do it. All right. Let me explain to you. I'm going to go through the process so you guys understand this. All right. But first, I need to take you to this commercial break. Okay. I'm just kidding. All right. There are no commercials. There are no commercials here. There are a number of ways we can do this. And as you know, I try to simplify magic. Now, I practice very intricate magic where I do the rituals and I do all of this and I do all of that. I have, I have, the candles, the herbs, the incense, and I go into the alternate state of consciousness. But you don't have to do that, because one thing I try to do with this channel is I try to give you guys this very simplified approach that anyone can do anywhere, anytime, any place. And if you can't do it on your own, just pay me a ton of money. and I'll do it for you. You know, no, just kidding. We have to be lighthearted because this is a crazy world. All right. So manifesting synchronicity, the most important thing you can do is I want you to, you notice I love the eye. The eye is the all-seeing eye of Osiris, or Osir. And this is because you have to be on the lookout for the synchronistic events, because that's very, very important, because it instills the faith within you. And the more you observe it, the more that you recognize it, the more that the universe brings to you. And that's a weird thing, but the universe is consciousness. And if you notice it, it will notice you noticing it, and then it will respond in kind. And that's very interesting. Okay. So the first thing you do is be aware of what's happening. And that's going to have it's going to be a snowball effect after that. All right. So what I'd like you to do is set a goal for yourself. Set the goal. And now the goal has to be a 3-dimensional goal. Okay. And what I mean by that, you are going to visualize with an intense emotion you achieving the goal. Okay. Now, for example, I want a mansion. Just an example. I use this all the time. Well, I'm going to visualize myself with the realtor giving me the keys and me walking into the door. Okay. And I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to feel elated, because that's a very good thing. That's just one visualization though. Now, second visualization. I have to come up with a second one because this has to be 3-dimensional. I'm going to see myself sitting in my recliner chair looking at 3 big screen televisions that I have now in my new mansion. Third visualization, I am going to see me lying in my gigantic bedroom. Okay. The fourth visualization, I'm going to see me in my entertainment room, my man cave, with my pool table. All right. Fifth visualization, I'm going to see me in my home theater, movie theater. With popcorn and my friends, and we're projecting whatever the latest Star Wars or Avengers movie that I personally bought. You know, I bought a copy of it, you know, I mean, a theatrical copy. That's how wealthy I am. So what I'm saying to you is that it can't be just one visualization. It has to be 3-dimensional, which is why you're going to visualize it in different perspectives. Okay. Different perspectives. All right. Seeing yourself leave your mansion and getting into a car and driving to the grocery store, and then coming back from the grocery store, going to the mansion and going to your very nice kitchen with your chef there or whatever, and you're making food. So these are the things that you have to do, because what you're doing is you're creating this world that already does exist, because all possibilities do exist. You just have to vibrate to that frequency to interact with it, to pull it from the information plane, and to interact with it. Now, one thing that you need to know is that you're not going to pull that entire scenario with you. Remember, we talked about a scene here, a scene there. So what's going to happen is synchronistic events are going to start to align to get you there. So one event may be, for example, you meet a friend, and the friend happens to be a realtor. You go, oh, hey. And he happens to sell a very expensive property in Connecticut. You're like, oh, wow, interesting. You know what I mean? So that could be one synchronistic event that happens, and that lets you know that what you're doing is working to your advantage. Now, the key here is to do it for 28 days. You have to do this for 28 days. And if you can start on the full moon, that is the best time to do that. You don't have to meditate, but you do have to visualize this stuff in your mind's eye. Visualize it and emotionally feel it. It doesn't have to be a really intense emotion, and you don't have to be visualizing it for 5 to 10 minutes. You don't have to visualize it for 5 minutes. Visualize it for 2 or 3 minutes, okay? And then continue to visualize going from the 1 to the 10 of each scenario. And what you want to do is create this 3-dimensional world that's real, okay? Don't keep using the same visualization, because you're going to wear it out and it won't have an emotional impact on you anymore. All right. That's why you have to change the visualization up. All right. So that's how you do it. Okay. And you have to invest in it, believe in it, but also don't be too invested in it that you say, if it doesn't happen, I don't know what I'll do with my life. Well, then that's it. You sabotaged it. Okay. So there you go. All right. Now, let's take this further. Pavlov's dog. Does anybody know Pavlov's dog? Tell Pavlov to come pick up his dog. Am I pronouncing his name right? Pavlov's dog. because his dog is in here and the dog is driving me crazy. No, I kid. Pablo's dog is a dog that was done with a test. Okay, every time the dog ate, they hit like a bell or something. So they fed the dog ate, hit the bell. Fed the dog ate, hit the bell, right? What happened? They stopped feeding the dog and they hit the bell. What did the dog do? He salivated, right? So here's what I want you to do. I want to put this synchronistic event on autopilot for you to make this real simple. Get a bell. I want you to get a bell. I want you to get a chime, something that makes an unusual sound. One time I had this really, I'm a big Star Trek fan. I had the Star Trek phaser that I would press and it would make this really weird phaser sound. All right. So I want you, when you get up in the morning, hit bell and then have the visualization. Get up in the morning, hit the bell, have another visualization. Get up in the morning, hit the bell again, have another visualization. Keep doing this every morning. Okay. Then after the 28 days, I want you to stop the visualization. I want you to get up in the morning. Don't worry about visualizing, but hit the bell. Watch the visualization come spontaneously. Next morning, get up, hit the bell. Don't visualize anything. Watch the visualization come instantaneously. That is putting the magic on autopilot. You now have a powerful trigger mechanism that will spontaneously invoke the juju, the magic within you without you having to call forth the visualization or the emotion, because you're Pablo's dog now. Okay, because when I'm hitting the bell, it's automatically invoking the emotion and the visualization. And I want you to do that. Okay. And then again, what we talked about before is observing the synchronistic events. They're going to happen usually in succession if you're doing this right. And that's going to give you the key that you're now in a new reality. Sorry, Mike there. You're in a new reality. You're not in the same reality anymore. It's a new reality that's changed. Bashar said it so poignantly. A small change in you is a total change. A small change in the reality is an entire change. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have now a quantum leap to a new reality. It's not necessarily the exact reality that you want, but you're moving in quantum leaps to get there. And synchronistic events that are aligning are just telling you, hey, you're going in the right direction. We're working to manifest this for you. Keep going. Now, it could take a while. It could take a while to manifest the thing you want, depending how big it is or how distant it may be. But the thing is, the most important point is listen to me, Magi's. Listen to me, Magi's, very carefully. The most important thing is not to get the objective. It is not. That is not the most important thing. Too many people get messed up doing that. The most important thing is to use this process and learn how it works so that you can use it in every aspect of your life. If you don't get the mansion, but you find that you get a nice house, but it's not a mansion, that's okay. Because magicians take years and years to master magic. Okay? So have fun with the process. You can start manifesting something small, then manifest something big. Play with it. You're going to find it's extraordinary. Someone pisses you off, manifest a different person. Because they're nothing but holograms anyway. They're avatars. They're not real. Your mate pisses you off, and I do this all the time. Manifest a different mate. I'm serious. Manifest a different mate. Because when you quantum leap to a new reality, that's not the same girlfriend or boyfriend. They're not. Don't think that they are. They are not the same person. This is why people in divorce courts or people who come to counseling for relationships says, well, he just changed or she just changed. I said, no, you just quantum leaped. They didn't change. They did change, but you just quantum leap. Now they're a different person. You want to go back, quantum leap back to the old person. You messed up. You didn't realize that in doing your magic to get to a certain goal, that the person that you're interacting with would change as well. And that's some of the side effects that's on the peripheral and we don't ever think about it. Because we're only focused on the objective. We don't realize that other things change. Well, my dog is acting differently now. Yeah, it's a new dog. It's a different dog, Well, the atmosphere of my job has changed. It's not fun anymore. Well, because you're in a totally new scene. You're in a new job. And as you keep doing this, you become more confident. You become more powerful. And you have bigger aspirations. And you'll start, for example, let's put it to you this way, right? let's say, for example, you're thinking about, just say, moving, right? And you're moving to this new town, and you're gonna, let's do this, the house scenario again. You want to buy a nice house, but they don't have the type of house you want in that town. But you want to move to that town, but you're unhappy they don't have the house that you want, which is maybe you need a 3-bedroom for you and the kids, right? But they don't have it. They only have 1 bedroom, right? Is that a problem? No, it's not. Because you can manifest the house that you want there. And I guarantee you, if you do it right, you're probably going to call from a realtor. He goes, you know what? There was this house that we had that was here, all the way back here in this neighborhood, and we totally forgot about it, but it has 3 bedrooms. Do you want it? You know, and it's funny because no one here at the realty, brick and mortar realty, even remembered that we had this house, but it's gorgeous. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. You'll love it. But just because in the natural, in the factual, concrete world, you don't see it there, doesn't mean that you cannot manifest it. You know? So think about that. Guru Kuhuti, God of justice, says he'll make a way where there is no way. And that's what you have to learn to do. So use your synchronicity power to align the forces in the universe to be conducive to what you want in the world. And don't complain about, hey, why is this happening? Why is this happening? I understand. I know we all complain. You know, things are messed up. But understand that I'm giving you a little bit of something that can help you make a great big difference in your personal life. You can start now changing things for the better. You don't like the neighbor because they play their music loud? Manifest a different neighbor. Try that. That's a start, you know? I had a neighbor that was smoked weed all the time, and I didn't like that smell. So I had to manifest a different neighbor. But what turned out was I didn't manifest a different neighbor. I manifested a different apartment. Actually, a different apartment came to me, and I took the opportunity. I was like, great, I'm out of here, you know? So that's how things work in your favor, you know? But again, it is about, and the last key thing to this is you have to kind of be obsessive about it in a way. You know what I mean? Not in a negative way, but it has to really encompass all your thoughts and your being. You have to think about it a lot. And there's nothing wrong with thinking about something that's going to make a positive benefit in your life and being obsessed with it. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? And if you are kind of obsessed with it and and it encompasses your whole being until it becomes like this big psyche thing in your head, and then when you ring that bell, it manifests more and more and more. That's where you know you're on the right track. Now, there has to come a point where you let this energy go and let the universe work and manifest it. And this is called the letting go phase. You got to let it go. And I would say preferably after you do this exercise of 28 days, if you want to use the bell, I would continue it for another 2 weeks and then let it go. So that's about 6 weeks, okay? So then let it go. Don't think about it anymore and allow it to manifest. But the key is not to think about it, but be on the lookout and expect the synchronistic events. And I also use the term of pinging because that's what it is. Reality is pinging you back and letting you know that this is happening. And you're going to see it in eerie ways. And I do this a lot with people I work with the money ritual. I show them how money can manifest. You know, I say, well, watch and be on the lookout because money is going to start to appear. And I'm going to tell you guys, because I'm going to end with this, how really funny the energetic universe is. Remember I told you that the universe is funny? It actually has a sense of humor. If you have a sense of humor, it will have a sense of humor. If you are sadistic and malicious, it will be sadistic and malicious. So I have a weird sense of humor. So I always said this, right? I wanted to manifest gold, right? I just have fascination with gold. So I said, okay, I'm going to focus on manifesting gold, right? So the universe played a trick on me. For an entire week, I kept finding people's gold card. I don't know what was going on. I would go to the gym. I found someone's gold card. You know, it was like crazy. I'm on a bus. I find somebody's gold card. And I'm having to call these people up. Oh, Mr. Steinwin, did you lose a gold card on the bus? He goes, oh, thank you. Oh, I can't believe you found that. I'm like, yeah, it's right here. I can deliver it to you, you know? And so that was the universe's way of saying, I'm not going to give you a gold nugget, but I'll give you some gold cards. You know, I said, okay, you're funny, hilarious, you know? No, I want the real gold, you know? So with that, I want to bring this one to a close. What do you say? Why are you manifesting the death of your neighbor's dog Don't do that. You don't want to manifest that. That's some bad karma, all right? That could bring you some weird results and all that. So anyway, guys, thank you for your help. And one thing I want to note is that hit the like button if you haven't already hit the like button. So please do that. And there's a link that if you want to donate to the PayPal account, please feel free to do that, to donate. That your donations would be appreciated. And sign up for a personal coaching program if you need some assistance with anything I've taught here or beyond, such as relationship, or if you need a reading, I'd be glad to do that for you. So I want to thank all the Magi's that have attended. And I want to say until my next broadcast, this is Kasak Ma Keparu, manifesting many, many synchronistic events, son of Ma'at. And that's all for now. Amun Ra.